Good morning. It's another day for Inside Nigeria, your breakfast show on Leadership Television. Today is Thursday, March 7, 2024. And of course, my name is Unaccountable, your host on the program. We have five newspapers for review on this first segment of the show, including Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. We are starting with Leadership. Leadership's leading story says Tinubu to Nigerians, time will define our tough decisions. Tinubu to Nigerians, time will define our tough decisions. Riders extols Awolowo's leadership qualities, signs executive orders on oil gas reforms. Headline story today on leadership. Beside that, we have CBN raises customs duty rate to 1,560.511 naira per dollar. 300 Kano inmates have no records of any crime. Police. Shaibu heads to court to stop impeachment. Appeal court affirms Abure as Labour Party chairman. Of course, we have the picture of NYC core members during their passing out ceremony yesterday at Kubwa, Abuja. Above the main headline story, Zamfara exonerates state guards over Islamic scholars' murder. The story runs on page 7 of Leadership. We move above the masthead of Leadership. 40 feared killed as military gangs clash in Benue. Sanusi weeps for Wigwe as many bid farewell. And don't forget, out this Sunday is Leadership's Le Vogue, is an all glossy, all color style magazine. Of course, is started in Leadership Sunday. Don't forget to grab a copy of Leadership Sunday this coming Sunday for a copy of Leadership Le Vogue. From the headline stories, we move to the page 3 of Leadership, where we have the editorial, which is our stand. Our stand is on semantics, not what Nigerians need now. Talking about the fallout of Leadership Conference and award ceremony. This is what it's all about. For those who didn't attend, and even for those who attended, you can get a rehash of the event as you read the editorial today. Semantics, not what Nigerians need now. From page 3, we move to the back page. Being blunt with Muazu Eliza is the columnist on the back page of Leadership, and he's writing on waiting for another relief package from Ukraine. Waiting for another relief package from Ukraine is the column today on the back page. Being blunt with Muazu Eliza. Muazu Eliza is the group managing director of Leadership Media Group. For continuation of these headline stories, the column back page, the editorial inside stories, log on to the website of Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move to the Guardian. Guardian's leading story is a developing story on the plan for state police, and the headline says deaths unaccountable security votes may hobble state police plan. Deaths unaccountable security votes may hobble state police plan. The headline story, of course, you have also the illustration which captures these 36 state governors, the president, the IGP of GP, the Senate and House of Reps leadership there underneath the headline story. Deaths unaccountable security votes may hobble state police plan. The headline story runs on page 6 of The Guardian. Beside that, we have Boko Haram strikes again, raises several homes in Borno. MPA to consolidate 2023 performance, reconstruct Tinker Port. Students lament unpaid scholarship, seek Tinubu's intervention. Underneath the main headline story, Nigeria's survival depends on food, health, housing agenda across states, says Adesina. Akinwumi Adesina was given an award by the Obafemi Awolowo Foundation yesterday in Lagos. Appeal Court strikes out federal government's bid to retry Orji Kalu on alleged 7.6 billion naira fraud. 36-year-old Nigerian lawyer turned caregiver dies in UK. Is on Metro page 8. May the soul of the departed rest in peace. And Edo Assembly begins impeachment process against the Deputy Governor Shaibu. These are the headline stories today, Thursday, March 7, 2024, on the cover of The Guardian. For continuation of these headline stories, inside stories, log on to the website of The Guardian, www.guardian.ng. From The Guardian, talking about state police plan, we also move to The Punch. And The Punch leading story says 24 states can't pay salaries without federal government allocation. The budgets, coming from budgets. 24 states can't pay salaries without federal government allocation. 24 states to pay 1.48 trillion naira salaries in 2024 but generate 914 billion naira IGR. Governors advised to boost IGR. Ondo, Yobe, Sokoto, Plateau, Niger, Nasarawa, Adamawa, Cross River, Delta, Abia, others affected. Beneath that headline stories, we see the picture of Akeumi Additional, president of African Development Bank, receiving his award yesterday from Kashim Shettima, which came from Obafemi Awolowo Foundation. And the story, headline story for that says Additional wins Awolowo Prize, says low productivity costs Africa $2.6 trillion yearly. Beneath that, minimum wage labor slashes demand to 500,000 naira. Troops gun bushes for 101 abducted women, IDP homes burnt. Federal government foreign scholarship beneficiaries lament unpaid 8-month stipends. And above the masthead of The Punch, 30 killed in Benue fresh attack. Senate to meet Tinubu. Blackout, federal government threatens to revoke discos licenses. CBN printing of 22 trillion naira under Buhari feared inflation, according to the Minister of Finance, Edu. And that brings to the end the Punch covers review today. For more, log on to the website of The Punch, www.punchng.com. From The Punch, we move to Daily Sun. Daily Sun's leading story says bloody day in Benue. Family of 7, 38 others killed in gang clashes. Bloody day in Benue. Family of 7, 38 others killed in gang clashes. Battles for Edo Deputy Governor as 21 of 24 Assembly members signed impeachment notice. Appeal Court bars EFCC from retrying Kalu. Police arrest Cameroonian, 8 others for illegal gun manufacturing. Recover arms in Benue. Soldiers kill 5 ESN members in Imo. Rescue 15 hostages in Zamfara. Tinubu orders immediate release of grains to FCT residents. Tinubu, African leaders, diplomats, orders hail African Development Bank President Adesina on Awo Leadership Award. Neya Kalu Foundation donates study materials to St. Saviour's School, Lagos. And the second headline story on Daily Sun says court vacates order sacking Aburi as Labour Party chairman. Obi will not leave party over smear campaign against national chairman, coming from Ifo. The story runs on page 26 and 27 of Daily Sun. And of course, we move to the story beside the masthead of Daily Sun. Killing of farmers, Senate's case to Tinubu. And the last story on the cover today says, open grazing in Abuja to end soon. Wike, the FCT minister. Open grazing in Abuja to end soon. Wike. These are the headline stories today on Daily Sun. Today being Thursday, March 7, 2024. For continuation of these headline stories, inside stories, and even the editorial, log on to the website of Daily Sun, www.sunnynewsonline.com. From the late Daily Sun, we move to the last paper we have on our menu, and that is Vanguard. Vanguard's headline story is still on Wiki, this series of songs that was heard for him yesterday. Terry Sanusi, I thought I would die before Wigwe. That is the headline story on Daily Sun, on Vanguard newspaper, sorry. Terry Sanusi, I thought I would die before Wigwe. And beneath that, we have a photo of dignitaries that attended the event. From left, we have the MD CEO Access Bank PLC, Roosevelt Bona, Governor Lagos State Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Vice President Kashim Shettima, Chairman Coronation Capital Agboje Ig Imokwede, his wife Ofogwe, Tochi Wigwe, daughter of late Herbert Wigwe, David Wigwe, son and President Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, during a night of tributes for late Dr. Herbert Wigwe, CFR, in Lagos yesterday. Underneath that photo, we have bloodbath in Benue, 50 kids as military gangs go to war. Bloodbath in Benue, 50 kids as military gangs go to war. And in sports, African Games, Eno charges athletes to conquer Africa. Tinubu has clear strategy to reform economy, says Bagudu. Tinubu has clear strategy to reform economy, says Bagudu. Federal government threatens to revoke discos licenses over poor power supply. From the stories underneath, we move ahead to the ones above the masthead. Effective implementation of extant laws makes expatriate levy needless, OPS. Edo Guba, Shaibu served impeachment notice as Oshomole denies involvement. CRPP condemns move. Shaibu keeps mum, consults his lawyers. NLCTUC issued 7-day ultimatum to Soludo over workers' welfare. And MPA says we are determined to consolidate our 2023 superior performance, says implementation of key performance improvement measures key. Obvious, these are the headline stories on today's Thursday, March 7, 2024 cover of Vanguard newspaper. For continuation of these headline stories, log on to the website of Vanguard, www.vanguardngr.com, which also brings us to the end of first half of this segment. Don't forget, we have second segment. We'll be talking more on some of the headline stories. Don't go away. My name is Winfred Gebo. See you on the second half.
Be part of our brand. Leadership for God and country. Be part of our brand. Leadership for God and country. Be part of our brand.
Welcome back to the second half of the program. Inside Nigeria, your breakfast show on leadership television. My name is Unaccountable once again, and of course, I have my Thursday guest in the house, although he's been away for quite some time. He's a political economist, public affairs analyst. Has been Olamilekan Adekolare. You say I almost stumbled on your name because it's been a while. How are you doing?
Very fine.
Yeah, good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Yes, since you've been away, I think I can bring you up to speed on what's been happening. Leadership had this award ceremony on Tuesday. And of course, I don't know whether you may have heard of it. We had the keynote speaker, Professor Kingsley Moghalu, who in his keynote talked about Nigeria's policies, talking about economic thing and so many other things. You may have heard of it.
Exactly. I was even hoping to be part of that conference, maybe because I was not around last week. I not get I was not around. Exactly.
You have invited, of course.
To be part of it. But all good. I think I still have the opportunity to go through some of the materials that were released, particularly keynote speaker speech, which would be very, very interesting one, especially for those of us in this economic space of analyzing, preparing solutions to it. So I look forward to that.
Yes. Let me also bring you some of the salient issues he raised was the fact that he categorically stated that Nigeria does not have an economic team in place and took a swipe at the one presently as constituted by President Bola Tinubu, and that the fact that you even have private investors as part of that economic team does not augur well, because those private investors who are there, they also look out for their own personal interest.
I think maybe I don't know whether Kingsley listening to me, Professor Kingsley listening to me on other platform.
Okay.
I was one of those people that strongly kick against it. You know, that group was initiated on Sunday. When the news came out on Sunday night, I was on the sister station in the evening that day, and I was like, no, we don't need to have businessmen on that.
You also said so.
Yes, I said no.
Sentiment.
Exactly, that we don't need. And again, the conglomerate of people that the president put together are politicians.
It's ad hoc that you really need economists, people that are versed in their various fields, to be there to be able to provide solutions, and not just on ad hoc basis, but on permanent basis. That Nigeria's economy is not one that you just do on how do you put it. Sometimes
the initial graduate fire brigade,
and apart from that, it should be permanent. Those economic things should be on a permanent basis. They are looking into the economy and trying to provide solutions and see what can be done, and not the one as presently constituted. And you also raised another salient issue, the fact that the present government is about getting to 1 year in power, and the need to also rejiggle its cabinet. Do you share in that?
Definitely, there will be need for that, particularly bringing expert people.
For many Nigerians like me, when he said that, I was there. What came to my mind was that, is that not too early? But then I remember that Nigeria's poster boy, Tunji Ojo, was also there to receive his award. And within this same year, we've seen his sterling performance in the interior ministry.
Although not, you can just pick out some of the ministry doing the expected work, but others are still.
But what do you have to say? Is it too early or?
It's not too early. If he can rejig it, it's not that he's sacking them. He can
look at them. And do
no, I won't suggest sacking, because it could be a political suicide on the part of the president. If you need to sack ministers, particularly based on the region most of them are coming from. But you can rejig them, just recycle them, put them in places, and be able to inject some new blood in areas that are more technical. You know, when Professor Kingsley was talking about permanent basis ad hoc. So I remember what President Biden did when he came to office. There are about 144 professors serving in as economic
144.
144 of them.
That is huge.
Then he also have the main economic team that are permanent. So if you remember, when he came to office, there was this shake around the economic of US. He invited 144 of them, and each of them gave advices to him from most of the iron league investing in US, and those ones that are think tank. But what we are expecting our president to do is that he can have these jumbo ad hoc guys, governors and the rest of them. But if you also have one that could also form not less than 14 of them that will be thinking. They are not business people, but people who understand economy, both critical economists, neoliberal economists, orthodox economy, heterodox economists, who will be thinking, because argument will come, everybody will put the argument on the table, the finance of the argument, the best in practice, will go for the policy implementation. And that's what we expect the president to do.
Yes, and Professor Moghalu also said that though he shared or he supported the removal of petrol subsidy and naira flotation, but the what the president put in place, the president did not put in place pushing or so many measures to cushion the impact,
I think
that he may have been too hasty in when he didn't have a CBN governor in place at that time. He didn't even have his economic team. He didn't have any things, measures put in place to cushion the impact. That is what Nigeria is suffering.
exactly. Most of us share that sentiment, but the other aspect still remains that even though the policy was for the good, a long-term good of the economy, but the implementation, which I thought was that there was, after bringing the policy into fruition, there was no proper evaluation and monitoring, at least a weekly or monthly briefing would have helped us. Okay, we have discovered this challenge with this implementation, but what can we do? This is what we want to do. It would have helped, but the government was just the way we did in COVID-19, a brief, a brief by brief. Okay, this is what has been done. Okay, this would have helped us to safeguard the economy from all the chaos that we have experienced in the last 9 months.
Like that.
Was implemented. Well, nothing like that.
And
But we
even
just
up
hope
to
that they can learn.
And the Kingsley Moghalu, Professor Kingsley Moghalu, also said that it will take another 3-4 years for the economy to stabilize under this policy. But why because the president, who was unavoidably absent at the venue where he was giving an award, but he was represented by the Minister of Information. He, while replying, while collecting the award, didn't miss the opportunity to also reply to Professor Kingsley Moghalu, the keynote speaker, and he did say that no, that the president was already trying to counter some of those things, like the economy was working, that it will take about 1 year before. You saying that?
It could be based on
That it will not extend to 3 years or 3 or 4 years as canvassed by Professor Moghalu. But maybe 1 year, within the next 1 year, everything will be okay.
although based on paper.
So, as an economist, what is your take?
Or based on paper for the government, it could be less than 1 year. But based on the reality, in terms of every facet of the Nigerian society, it could be up to 3 years, even more than that.
That's what
But on paper, it could be 1 year and a half. But reality, going around with the excesses on the part of the state governor that are not even complying with the economic principles of the federal government, it could be up to 3 years. Because that's what is in reality. And he used a very, a principles of economy that help us to calculate the range of issues and challenges that can be overcome within a short term and medium term.
Yes, but don't forget that even before the expiration of that tenure of President Muhammad Buhari, the former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, did say that he pitied the one. Then the election has not been conducted, president election has not been conducted and won. Because he pitied the president that was taking over, that it will take him years. Remember, El-Rufai did say that it will take him years for him to be able to stabilize the economy. Now, why many Nigerians are not really comfortable is that the fact that during the 8 years of President Muhammad Buhari's administration, even at the beginning, at the onset of his administration, he said Nigerians should bear that things were going to be all right. And now we have another term going, and the new government still saying the same thing. So, what hope are they actually inspiring Nigerians?
I think what is really happening is that when government do policies or implement policy, it takes a long time before it trickles down to the people at the bottom of the ladder.
Back on the 8 years of President Muhammad Buhari, nothing was actually done to alleviate or maybe cushion the effect, the impact of hardship on Nigerians.
It's because most of the policy end at the middle range of the ladder. It doesn't trickle down. It doesn't go down as expected. I made mention of something that most of the federal government policy are not a buy-in for state governments. How they are buying into those policies, it will now go down to the rural area in the state. But most times it ends up at the middle range, whereby the major cities are the ones that normally feel the impact of government policy. Look at the people that feel the impact of government policy. Now the contractors, the civil servants, the politicians, and the people in government, particularly political appointees at the west side. But the others that are in the other range of the ladder, they don't feel it. Get it? Contractors get contracts from government, construction work, road construction, and the rest of them, they are paid, they get the money. Others who are supplying contract chain to government, they also get the money. The civil servant gets salaries. But the rest of us that are not part of government chain, how do we get our own part of the entire policy impact? We don't get it because the state governors are also not playing their role into the economy of the federal government, and that's why it's always very difficult. So, as predicted by Professor Kingsley Moghalu, it will definitely take that years. But on paper, it could just be 1.5 years as expected.
Thank you so much. Now, talking about the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, the President Minister of Finance, they say that CBN printing of 22 trillion naira under Buhari fueled inflation.
Definitely,
And
we
this is on the backdrop that Senate intends to said it intends to revisit the 30 trillion naira ways and means
exactly.
that was
No,
given
no,
to.
no, it's easy for
Why?
us to quickly say, okay,
But
definitely.
how true really is this? Because we remember then when the Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki raised the alarm that the federal government was printing money, but the federal government came out to debunk that insinuations or the reports coming from Obaseki that it was doing nothing of the sort. But however, years later, we Nigerians are being told that they were actually printing money.
Definitely. Although the reason why they quickly countered the argument from Basiko was that they explained that non-printing money from the angle of monetary policy principle, whereby they didn't just go straight to print money. They converted our dollar and our reserve into naira. So ordinarily, for someone working in CBN for the government, they can easily say, okay, we didn't print. What we do is this. But they didn't go as that far to explain that to the Nigerian public. But in reality, they printed money, and they printed money to do to pay salaries, and that's what really happened. And again, not just salary, including fact allocation that they collected. And Governor Basile came out that time, although he collected his own share of it, but he still went out.
I know Nigerians are hailing Obaseki that oh, the prophet of our time. When Obaseki was saying it that time, people they were countering him, saying nothing of the sort. And he has turned out to be a hero.
Exactly. But the question people will still ask is that after all the governors those days collected the money, the evidence of that money is supposed to be impactful on the economy at the state level, but they still pointing finger at federal government. For me, it is not just see printing money in the economy is not a bad idea. But when that money is printed and it is not diverted into a sector that could support the economy in productivity, it becomes a challenge. In this instance, those state governors collected the money, paid worker salary. Federal government collected, paid their salary. All the state governors collected and paid their salaries. There is nothing to add to the economy, and that's why we have the challenge that we have. So if they say it caused inflation, definitely because civil servants were having money, contractors were having money, the politicians in the governors convoy and the rest of them were also having money. So they were able to chase the goods that are in circulation and they buy it. Partly it caused inflation, but that is not the essence of the reason why we have inflation in Nigeria. It's just part of the factor.
It's part of the factor. Thank you so much. Now you made mention states, how states have not been able to translate the dividends of democracy to their people. The Punch headline story says 24 states can't pay salaries without federal government allocation, and this is still the same situation we had under past administration of President Muhammad Buhari, who was actually doling out money for states to pay workers. What are we having here? 4 years later, the story remains the same. And the paper, the writer says, Edo, Yobe, Sokoto, no, sorry, Ondo, Yobe, Sokoto, Plateau, Niger, Nasarawa, Adamawa, Cross River, Delta, Abia, others affected. And one strange fact is the fact that Delta, which happens to be one of the oil
Producing
that is
states.
receiving so huge allocation, still is also affected.
It's because they are in debt. The essence why they can't pay salary is because they are in debt. So the debt is taking part of the federal allocation that is coming to them. So even their own IGR, they are keeping it aside, and which is not even enough. So when the federal government released fact to them, CBN quickly removed their internal borrow debt, they removed their external borrow debt. So the little one that is not, they throw it at them. And because of that, the internal revenue they also is not even enough. By the time they add the rest that is coming from the fact to what they have, they can't pay because they are in debt. All
This debt, Olamileko, this debt, they keep taking debt because, of course, you've broken it down. We all know that the federal government's debt is mostly also states sharing it. But what are they not taking? When they are taking this debt, what projects, what infrastructure are they using it for in their states? Why is it not cascading down to their people?
It's because it's so unfortunate that the kind of project they are engaging are politically inclined projects. They want to do road, but the roads are not tied to targeted productive economy sector. They want to do a borehole, they are just doing it anyhow. They want to do primary school, so they just doing project that doesn't have a targeted production level. In a sense that we can target this project to this. When we do this road, it will link to industrial sector in the state. If we do this, it will link to so they are not doing that, and that's why they are having that challenge. And again, most of the money they are even collecting are also embezzled.
Yes.
The state governor embezzled the money, the commissioner embezzled the money, the DG, the director, and everybody is embezzled, including the political party of that state. Everybody is embezzling the money. So what do you expect? When a particular commissioner is having about 4 or 5 cars as his convoy, even big men who are politicians close to the governor having, so what do you expect? So everybody is just living on the luxury of the state Meanwhile, it is a detriment to the state internal revenue, development, and other things that you can talk.
Now, how are we going to get states to be accountable to the people?
I think majorly to be accountable is to if every sanction on governors, commissioners, and people who are serving in the state. If they can send 2-3 governors to prison, not any frivolous kind of prison sentence or 3 years for no long-term prison, commissioner inclusive. I've not seen any commissioner sent to prison. They'll find a way to get them out of it. So if you can have that sanction on them, they can sit right. Then again, fiscal responsibility. I think it was 2 days ago I began to read my mind around fiscal responsibility. State governors don't follow fiscal responsibility. They thought that agency is just meant for federal government. It's not meant for federal government. It's meant for state, federal, and local government. So what are we doing? And even fiscal responsibility commission itself, what is it doing? It's so quiet, so silent. Maybe they are afraid of politics, so that they will not begin to witch on them, whoever be the chairman or whoever. But they need to sit up. That law is meant for everybody, every state, all the regional government, inclusive, not just federal government alone. And with fiscal responsibility in place, state doesn't need to be borrowing money anyhow. It was recently I was suggesting on a platform that now we are expecting a new chairman for fiscal responsibility. He's been appointed. They should review the act and see how they can begin to call out states that are just wasting their resources anyhow.
Yes.
Call them out, name them, tell us what they have done. Most of them are owing billions of naira in debt. And this is the money that once the fair come, they remove those debts from it. They give it just the chicken change that is left. This was what people Osun State some years back under Aregbesola, but he was able to come out of it after they finished paying, and Oyetola had money. The current governor is having money. He's keeping quiet. Nobody is talking about the debt of Osun State because they've been able to survive those waters, those days, and they are out. So we should be able to use fiscal responsibility to caution and to correct some of this abnormality at the state level, particularly the resources of the state, public fund of the state in an interesting way.
Thank you so much. Now we are still talking about states and how they govern. Now the Guardian also has its leading story. Deaths, unaccountable security votes may hobble state police plan. Of course, everybody seems to be in agreement, right, coming from the National Assembly, that state policing is the way to go, especially considering the insecurity situations we have on our hands. Now, the Guardian story says deaths, unaccountable security votes may hobble state police plan. How are they going to do that? Because our state governors, are they ready to relinquish this unaccountable or is it secret? Like with the secret security vote that they are being paid?
It definitely will release.
Given.
Yeah, it's 60 million every month.
Okay, 60 million.
It's
I
60
thought
million.
it differs state by state.
Or because of the population of the state, it's different, but at least the list is 60 million each a governor will receive
For security
vote every month, and it's like their personal money.
Yes.
So that's what they use in running their own personal deal. So now, would they be able to release
And
this money?
sorry, before you even speak more on it, we heard that there is even what is also contributing to the spike in forest rate. Because as soon as they are giving this money, they convert it to
It's true.
years. And
It's true.
that is when I was like suggesting that if the federal government is aware of this, can they also bring down when they're supposed to give them this money?
No, I think it will be wrong. It will counter the act in the constitution that allows such money to be given to them. Although the suggestion a friend made was that it should be like a digital currency kind of. Let them digitalize that 60 million and say, okay, if you want to use it for social, let it be digitalized. The contractors, whoever you want to give the money, let it just be going that way. So that it won't be that it will be something that you receive personally and use it for your personal. So
now, talking about the security votes, before I intervene, what can be done now? Because the deaths, unaccountable security votes may hobble state police plan. Although even though there are still some dissenting voices, as well as the ones coming from the north, that state policing is not the way to go. But basically, many people are embracing it.
Exactly. And if you are saying dissenting voices from the north, it's not the governors that are opposing it. It's just some elderly politicians in the north because of what they think the governors may use them for. The governors themselves, they are all ready for it.
Yes,
but the challenge is that the jab they want to throw in this state police team, they still want federal government to be part and parcel of the funding. Because the moment we have state police, there won't be any federal police like that again. So they will now be asking, so what is the federal government doing with all its resources now that the federal government doesn't have police? So that fund is what they are thinking through, that if the federal government doesn't have police again, so the money that they've been using for police in the past,
there will still be federal police, because that's what is being practiced in the United States of
but
America.
it won't be as enormous as we have it currently.
It won't be enormous.
So the thinking right now is that, okay, there won't be any federal police as expected in all the states.
Yes,
so the money that you have been using for that,
you
give it to us. That is the thinking. That's why they want to review that act or that law that will make sure that federal government will still be giving money for them to run the police. And if that comes into place, it means that indirectly federal government will still be controlling the police. But what people are now thinking is that let the resources in this regard of the state be given to them, just like we want to have state police, so that it won't be like they'll be depending on anybody for funding, for assistance, or for aid. But when you know that they are controlling their resources, they can also use that to fund their police. But that also means that it's going to be a serious constitutional framework or work within our constitution to allow state to have access to some resources, then use the resources as to now run their
like
state
this
police.
issue of state police is also an aspect of restructuring, in case people don't know it. But the issue of economic restructuring is has always been the problem, the challenge that many people don't want to embrace. But how do you say that? Because we saw when President Tinubu visited Lagos, Afenifere told him boldly that he should go for restructuring, and they even said yesterday in some of the papers that they already have the plan in place. That is Afenifere. They are not going to back down this time around. So I'm asking you: is restructuring will it aid development?
Definitely, because there are two forms of it. We have political restructuring, we have economic restructuring. Now,
even the erudite Nobel laureate winner, so you can say you rather call it
devolution of power. Because definitely devolution of power is all part and parcel of it. It's that different layer. But the economy will aid the politics. Then the politics will also aid the economy. But without the economy, there is no way the restructuring politically will succeed. We can restructure. Yes, because the economy is the resources that the state control. Like the police, each police, state police. Now, is part and parcel of the political engineering in terms of administration of the state. But now, what will they now use to run?
And we even have judiciary autonomy.
Exactly. Also in existence.
But you saw what happened with the issue of IGRO with FROS with Wike when he was state governor.
Exactly.
State
On
governor
the
of
VAT
Rivers State.
issue.
You saw what played out. And we even saw some states crying out, even begging, like states like Gombe, that please, they should allow the status quo, that they, Gombe, don't have the resources to run the state without the VAT.
Exactly. But they have it. Just that they don't have power to bring out those resources in the ground and turn into economic benefit. Gombe has oil, but they have gold. They have other mineral resources, but do they have the power? And that's where the laziness of these governors comes in. Because they're supposed to set up company, collect license from government, from federal government, and run those companies. But they are lazy in that regard, but they are organizing all manner of investment summit, trying to bring FDI into the state. But they don't know that they're supposed to show the FDI the road to how to run this. So what I'm trying to put that, if there's no economic restructuring, there's no way the political restructuring or whatever can succeed. Because the politics will need the resources. But the federal government is holding on to the resources. We want to give you political restructuring. So how will the state succeed? So until we also, as Folosho said, devolution of the power, that power to control the resources is also given to the state. Then all this will now be a smooth ride at the state, particularly state police. But if we continue like this, but as I said earlier, the state governors are already setting the trap. Don't worry, give us state police. But the money that you have been using to run police at the federal, you must also give us that one.
I'm laughing.
Yes, that's the target.
I'm cracking up with laughter. Oh, really?
That's the target. Don't worry, give us state police. But the money, have you forgotten police fund?
Yes,
It was but it was
fund.
meant for all the state governors. Just bring 10% of your whatever revenue and put it. But federal governments have been putting all its money. No state governor put the money. But when they want to, they say give us money from the police fund.
Honestly,
Give us money from the police
that
fund.
is why I asked you earlier, how can we hold government responsive to their people? Because we talked about police fund. The same thing we also have with UBEC. They are supposed to produce, state governments are supposed to produce counterpart funding so that they can access the funds. But most state governors are not doing so.
They don't want, they are not interested. They have, the issue is that they have borrowed all kind of money from banks, both World Bank and the rest of them and local banks. So they are just paying the debt. And they are not putting on thinking cap. What they are doing majorly is to estate developer to come and develop estate in their state. That won't give them money. Till the ground, set up companies to run industries in your state. No governor want to do that because they know that highest they will stay is 8 years. So they don't want to invest in long-term investment that will help the state to grow. But they are looking for a sharp or shortcut to make money. If you see state now, everybody want to develop mega city, estate.
Exactly.
That's what they are trying to do. And farms.
And
but the farm they are not running into. They want
much.
to, yes, they are
And
money they can collect easily and pocket and do whatever they want to do with it. They are not thinking of
Give
concrete
the
things.
contract to their cronies,
Exactly.
to develop the mega cities, and then the most of the money still come back
To
to their
them.
own pocket. So, what is the way forward before we leave this topic? Because it's something that is still there. If it's not being tackled, it still remains there.
The way forward still goes back to what I said. Fiscal responsibility is not for federal
Do you
government
see
alone.
some states even agreeing to economic
Because
restructuring?
they will.
You think
They,
so?
they will do. The southern states will embrace it
Definitely.
with everything on them.
Definitely.
Then the northern states will also do. But they will be cautious because of
But
the political
they have
agenda.
never agreed to it
They will do.
this time around.
They will do because there is a new thinking in the north too. Those elders from the rest of them, they're already losing value because the youth are already understanding that what these people are saying, we are lagging behind. We are the ones suffering all these conservative ideas about how to run Nigeria. So they're also opening up. Like the governor of Zamfara State is a young guy who's opening up, even though he still have his own excesses. But what I'm trying to say, they will all embrace this. But the key solution is that we must all embrace fiscal responsibility. If the fiscal responsibility is not embraced, how you spend, how you make the money, and how you spend the money, there is no solution in sight for some of these challenges at the state level. So fiscal responsibility is a key product that they must adhere to. If not, they will keep wasting their state resources anyhow.
Thank you so much. Now, just before we go, what is actually happening here? We see a situation whereby the customs also has also increased. Again, CBN raises customs duty rate to 1,560.511 naira to a dollar. And that is how many times now?
This will be the seventh time now.
Yes.
The 7th,
Leadership
5 times,
parade
then
will
1 and 2. This will be the 7th
just
time.
less than a year.
Exactly. It's all about how government can raise revenue, especially on importation of goods. Although it's also a counterproductive venture in the sense that when international trade, when countries want to protect their economy, they use all manner of economic protectionism on trade, like increasing rates at the port, so that it can deter people from importing. Particularly, they identify that some of this product can be produced here locally, but we all know our deficiency in our production locally. So even with that, even with all the enabling environment that government will create for importers to set up factory to produce it, they still prefer to import it because they make more profit, they don't generate employment, they don't give anybody any, they just pay their taxes and go. So that's why it is like that. But we just hope that the government will continue to recognize. But one thing that's happened is that floating has failed. We must understand. Floating of the naira has failed. So government is now doing a fix here and there to control naira devaluation and the rest of it. And that's what has really happened.
Well, thank you so much. Now, just before we go, we are still having insecurity issues ravaging the nooks and crannies of the country. I really don't know what can be done about it because just before I came, I read of a report that even in Delta State, Fulani herdsmen allegedly killed how many, even some security personnel. Daily Sun has says bloody day in Benue, family of 738 others killed in gang clashes. Vanguard has similar story, 50 killed at military guns go to war. Why is the security heads of security chiefs, are they not rejigging these security personnel?
They should now, but the issue still remains that, like the one in Benue is about what Governor Tom left, the repulse effect of all these arming people, and now this gang want to control territory. They also need land, and that's what's leading to what is happening in Benue now. Nobody's talking about whether Fulani is attacking. Now it is now between the Benue people and the, I raised this issue the other time that when they were springing up militia group within a particular set of a tribe in Benue, particularly the thieves, because they were the one that generated this militia group to protect themselves. Now the militia groups don't have, there is no governor paying. Governor Alia is not giving anybody any money again. So the only thing they can help to help themselves is to control land, space, and that's what is happening right now in Benue State. We just hope that the governor, the security chief at the national level can take a swipe at this and help out, because it's not different from the court clashes that we have in other parts of the country, particularly in southern part of the country.
All right, thank you so much. Now, just before we go, in Edo State, the 21 out of 24 lawmakers already signed impeachment notice against the deputy governor of the state, Philip Shaibu, which Philip Shaibu survived this because as we speak, he has already headed to the court to stop his impeachment process.
Definitely, the court will have to save him here. That's the only hope we have. If the court intervene, even down to the Supreme Court, will survive. But if they continue to politics or politicking within the Edo State House of Assembly, will definitely go.
Now, will you say that people pay to the end of Shaibu's political career?
I don't think so, but definitely it will also hamper his popularity within this space that we are right now. But he may come back, revigorate, and do exploit. But under PDP, under Obaseki, I don't think that will happen right now.
It's really unfortunate. Well, it's always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thanks for having me.
It's so educative and informative to have you around. Well, viewers, I've been talking with my Thursday guest. He's a political economist and a public affairs analyst, Olamilekan Adefolari. Thank you so much once again. My name is Winifred Ubebo, your host on the program. And of course, don't forget, with same time tomorrow is another day. But don't forget to join us at 12 for news at noon. Let's wish you a beautiful day. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080 3688